It's time to wake up no matter what time it is where you are. It is time to wake up because we broke even last time. We left broke and we got back. We was broke and we don't want to break even this time. And I hope I'm not too long. I don't want to be like a bagpipe playing Amazing Grace until you say, please play some Al Green or some Isley Brothers or some James Brown or just anything but Amazing Grace on a daggone bagpipe for 50 minutes. So I'm going to try to talk a little bit fast so I can get it all in. And I mean to be sounding, anything when I said get it all in. I want my comedy side to take this over. But we want the ballot because bullets cost too much for one, and the voters get shot. And well, let's just say it's time for the abolitionists to move out of the black neighborhoods and stop charging the people big rent and charging them big prices at the stores and buy it themselves. And these poor white neighborhoods should do the same. And they have all these foreign exchange people coming, and then their families, they have all these big business loans and small business loans and loans to keep us in the poorhouse. Loans to make sure that we never get anything, but that's a different story. I just want to say, don't want to break even this time, um, because well, brown is beautiful, black is beautiful, It all depends on who you with. And black can be a serious state of mind, because you can be white and black, and you can be black and white. We are the minority, though. I want to tell you that because the census man, seriously, back in the day, he was scared to come in our neighborhood and a few others. So they lied and they just say, okay, well, 5 houses time 2. They say, and you believe everything they say, but that's all right. And Jesus is still black. And don't take my word for it. Just look in the Bible. Everybody likes to read the Bible. To prove everything. They like their proof. Everybody loves proof. Well, it said he had skin like copper and hair like wool. So I don't know who that picture is, but I got a good idea. I say, I got good news, and to some, I'm the bad news. I'm both. I'm like having Dick Gregory as your substitute teacher. Let us open our textbooks to Marcus Garvey. But instead of going back to Africa, well, just let me off in the hood somewhere close to the big chair and I'll find my way from there. Because if you drop me off and over in Africa somewhere, I'll probably get eaten by a white tiger unless there's some Black Panthers nearby. I don't know. So, so just don't drop me off just anywhere. And another reason I say that Jesus was black is because Mary and Joseph went over to a hotel and they told him no, you go have the baby over in the barn. They wouldn't have told him no. It was a pregnant white woman coming in the building. They would have burnt that building to the ground. There's no way they would have told her no. So that there's some spiritual proof and some documented proof and whatever else you need. So it just couldn't have been what they said, and you believe everything you hear. As simple as that. But that's not what's important here, What's important are the numbers. Because in every little nook and cranny of everywhere, you got people out here in poor neighborhoods, and that's all neighborhoods. You got people in poor neighborhoods, and they're being run by politicians who, what do? Line their pockets and take nice trips and go to the golf course. And when we're out there marching, they might hear about it, they might not hear about it. So why are they in charge of you? I'm sure there's politicians out there that we can bring to the forefront of our own Then maybe there's people out here that don't even know they have the qualifications to do it, and maybe they can be brought to the forefront as well. I'm sure there's a lot of well-educated lawyers and judges of minorities that would get out here and step up to the plate. And I'm sure that there's independents who aren't neither Republican or Democrat that would step up to the plate for the people as an independent. And why should people vote for a person just because he's Democrat or Republican? Why wouldn't they just make up their own mind? Why would they want to, for one, Trump should have kept to his Trumps and went ahead and, I mean, you know what I'm saying. He should have went ahead and dealt his Trump card right from the get-go and not been a Democrat or Republican like he said he would do. If the Republican Party hadn't have nominated him, he would have run as an independent. Hell, if he had ran as an independent, we all looked at him like he's got more swag than Jimmy Carter, than more swag than my man when he was doing his thing with the secretary up in the White House, and he called the shots. So if he calling the shots, what he need to do is let the children out of jail, because the children are sitting over in these detention centers and they can't get out and see their mommies and daddies, and I'm sure they all deserve a second chance. If there's adults in detention centers and they let the adults out just because they are non-violent, well, hey, who would you want out? I'm sure these mothers that get their belts ready to set their children straight, and it's coronavirus time. It's time for them to be at home with their loved ones, not sitting in some place where they can't even cry because their peers are going to look at them and ridicule them because of where they are. Say we can make it. You know, we can make it. We can make it to the free states. We can make it over the Mason-Dixon line. And unfortunately, we have to be contraband, spoils of war for a little while, property, obtained in war. But things are getting better because the knife is no longer 9 inches into my back. It's been pulled out 6 inches when they had the civil rights movement, and then it's been pulled out maybe another 2 inches, and then they kind of slid it back in again when they started killing all these innocent people. And they want to make sure that it wasn't unfair, so they killed as many white people as they could, along with the black people that they could, just to make it look good. So why are their body cams aimed at the ground all the time? That's what I want to know. And I'm just saying the difference between those little kids that are sitting in the detention centers and me is I ran faster. So maybe we get older, we get slower, so we don't do those things anymore. We think before we sink. And we don't want to skip nursery school and go to the big school for the little children. And that's all they're learning in your little school is how to obtain ranking in the big schools. And that's not what their families want, that's for sure. And so here's unity. We will get to the promised land. That's power. That's power. When the people get enough sense to take matters in their own hands and not have the police called, but have the senators called, have the governors called, have the congressmen called, have the letters out, have petitions out, and see who steps up to the plate. And if they don't step up to the plate when we start this ball rolling, then we know who not to elect, who not to go for. We'll put our own people in place. There's people out there that got the qualifications. We'll go looking for them. And like I said, I don't want to be like a bagpipe playing stormy weather all night. So I didn't want to bore you all with a history lesson or anything, because it was all about the American Revolution. The American Revolution, the first person to die in it was a black man on the front lines named Crispus Attucks. Boom, then I went back to sleep in class. And I woke up again in February when they was having Black History Month. I was, why did February? Yeah, it's the shortest one, I guess. I'm not sure. But here's what they don't want you to know. Here's what they don't want you to see is keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith. So instead of having Charlton Heston portraying Haile Selassie or one of these unknown actors playing Charlton Heston, we should have had Moses played by Ben Reams so he could say, "Warden, let the children go." For sure. And like Adam Clayton Powell said, keep the faith, baby. And God told Moses to talk to the people, and he said, but I stutter real bad, Lord. And he said, but we'll use your brother Aaron. The only thing faster than his tongue is Ollie's fist. So all I got to say is keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith.